Hey everybody, it's Rory from ANS Gear, and we're gonna look at a brand new die gun today. This is the new die DSR. It's their, I'm gonna call it mid-price, but it's above their. It's not their flagship like high-end price version, but it's not their lower-end version or lower price versions. It's kind of finding that niche, like under $1,000 market right there. So let's take a look at it. It comes in a nice case. I like the case. It's a little bit more compact than the M2 case, and I like when you open it up that the barrels don't fall out of it. That's a plus, I think, right there. That's good. So we've got our barrels right here, two-piece. As far as I can tell, it's a 688. I mean, that's pretty typical for die, what they're going to come straight out of the box right there. You're going to get a set of Allen keys, barrel sleeve, very basic manual. Just has you really how to get the gun operational and how to adjust velocity, how to put the battery in, and kind of how to navigate through the console on the back, your screen. And then a brief breakdown of the barrel rate. I'm sorry, not the barrel, the bolt with all your bolt sizing, O-ring sizes. Warranty card. There is a better manual at the point of doing this video right now. At the time of doing the video, the DSR manual is not on diepaintball.com. I think it's on Die Paintball DSR or something like that. It is on the other website. It says on this little guide, go to Die Paintball to see the manual. It is not there, but I'm sure it'll be up in the next couple of days. They're probably doing some slight revisions to the manual, so it's not up there yet. You can't find it online, just not on diepaintball.com. Get some dye lube. You get spare parts kit, O-rings, detent, screws, things like that. Your interface cable, and then your battery, your 9-volt battery right there. So let's look at the gun. So let me start out with the DSR by saying that what the DSR is, in essence, is a fix of everything that people didn't like with the NT. The overcomplicated bolt design on the NT gone, making it much more streamlined and much more user-friendly. They don't say, it doesn't say on here anywhere, new version of the NT, but that's kind of what they're going for here. I love the way it shoots. I think it shoots really nice outside. With both the efficiency test that we did, it got great numbers. With just the overall shooting of it, felt great. I have an NT11, and I like the way that shoots. It's very different than any other gun that you would shoot, but this, I can already see, is going to solve any of the issues that I had with mine, and I still have with mine, and make it just a dream to shoot. So let's go over this one right here. You can see, again, macro line, less setup. They're kind of going the way of Planet, where they've removed the regulator from the front grip area. They've integrated it into the gun grip, and this is where your battery goes inside here. So to open this part up, I found the easiest way to do it is with a quarter right here. So we're going to open that up. The bottom right here, it even has a little symbol like turn this way to unlock, turn this way to lock it. So we're going to put that in there. We're going to turn it 180 degrees to unlock it. And that's going to slide right off. Excuse me. And then your 9-volt battery is just going to sit right in there. Slides back up, turn the bottom, lock it down. Super simple design. I think that's great. We've got clamping feed neck. That's pretty straightforward right there. This one is they're like a PGA print version, so they have like a black and a red and a gray, I think, at this point. But this is one of their printed versions. The bolt, push button bolt out the back. So push it down and pull it out. Now we'll break down the bolt a little bit, and you can kind of just see it. I'm not going to really go into in detail about what's going on inside the bolt and all that stuff, but the breakdown is really simple. Lots of threading there. That's our pin for the back right there. Now this one, I might, can't get it. I have seen these parts be a little sticky right out of the box. So it can be difficult to get that off. There, there, and there. And then this part breaks apart on here. Now this, I need some towel here so I can ungrease my hands. I don't know if this actually will work. I think on the last one, I just did it by hand. I did. I'm gonna split this in half. I'm gonna grab hold of that part. See if I can get it. Cannot. So, I'm gonna see if I have a little something here that I can grab a hold of it with. So disappear out of the way. There's two little flat spots on this stem right here. We can put a little wrench on here, and let's see if I can get this by hand then. Yeah, there we go. And this, you have, if you want to take this stem assembly out of this, I'm going to call it, kind of looks like a top hat from before. You have to take those two pieces off. Now they aren't Loctited together or anything, they're just held in place by the threading as well as a little O-ring right there to seal it. But you cannot get this piece out of here without breaking those two pieces apart. Sorry if I keep coughing. I'm getting out from being under the weather. So let's move forward. Has the same eye pipe as the M2, so the new design eye pipe, stronger, won't crack on you, so that's good to have inside of there. Moving down, the grips and the frame. Now the grip and frame can be separated right from the body without, I shouldn't say the grips and the frame. The frame can be separated off the body without having to take the grips off, which I think is great. It's always frustrating when you're putting the gun back together, when you put the grips on the frame and then go to put the frame on, you realize that you can't get to one of the screws because the grips are covering it. So I like that being there and there. You can just pop it apart. And you can see inside here, they have a solenoid specifically designed for this gun setup right here. Has a different interface on the side right here, directly mounted to the body. And there's our wiring interface. This little socket right here is what connects to the board that is right here, which then runs down into the main board inside the grip. So we have our solenoid wire, we have our eye wire, and then we have our battery wire running right there. Those are our 3 ports running down into the grip down here. So pretty cool. Very simplified design. I really think that's a keen setup on there. Let's move on to the grip real quick. So it does have like a UL grip, or UL frame on there, but they have incorporated screws into this grip to keep it secured, and it actually makes it easier to get the grips off where you're not trying to weirdly pry your fingers underneath there and snap that front grip off, which for the first couple times, if you've got a new die gun with those grips on there, can be a nightmare. With these two, there's a screw at the front, or this new one. You take that screw and this one, and once they're out or they're unscrewed, you do the same process you used to do. You kind of pull it up and then rotate it down, and it will unlock. Now these screws, you can see that one popped out. They are not static inside this grip. They can be taken out, but they just slide out of these little grooves right here. You can see it just kind of drops in there like that. But taking it off is easier. I will admit that it is easier to get it off of there. I like that. So there's our board. You can see it running down through there, right here, our trigger. It's using the same kind of Moss Air interface, different The screen is definitely different. I mean, there's no room for the big screen in there before, but the interface is the same with the 5-way joystick. So you're going to navigate through your menus and scroll through everything very similar to the way you would do it on an M2. They have, as you can see, now incorporated the regulator as part of the frame and ASA. So let's go ahead and pull that off. It's simple to pull off and simple to maintenance. Put these ones over here. 2 screws on each side. Actually, I shouldn't say 2 screws, 1 on each side. Not 2 screws on each side. Once you get those 2 out, you kind of wiggle this out. Now, it does not just pull off really easy. This O-ring does seat up inside there, so it doesn't just slide out. It's not sloppy or anything like that. But that's it right here. Regulator, ASA. You can take the reg off from the top. Oops. All you need to do is just crack it. We can unscrew this. You can see that down inside of here is our adjustment and our reg seat. This is our little cap for that. And then in here, here's our reg piston and spring. There you go. And that's easy. Easy to service, easy to maintenance, easy to get to. And adjustment is through the bottom right there. So the adjustment port and access to it is easy. Screw in to decrease, screw out to increase. It's been like that with their regs for a long time. I mean, that's easy basic maintenance right there. So like I said, if you can make it easier for just the customer or the user to interface with and to understand, they're going to be more inclined to do their own work, get involved in their gun, and understand how it works, and therefore enjoy the product more. If you make it so complicated for them that they don't even want to try, then they're just going to, that's how guns get the mystique of being bad guns, because people don't want to work on them. They don't want to understand them. All right, and there you go, back together. I love it, love it. Couple things just about it. The gun itself, it runs at a crazy low pressure, 115 PSI to operate. That's super low. So if you look at the efficiency video that we did, it's great efficiency. The gun is what they call dwell. It's not dependent on the dwell. So this gun has I think a range of like 13 milliseconds to 20, I could be wrong, 20, I want to say 26. I think it's somewhere around in there. But they've made it so that you cannot adjust it lower than 13, and you cannot adjust it higher than whatever that higher number is, 26 possibly. And it will work anywhere inside there. It'll work at 13, and it'll work at the highest setting, and it'll work anywhere in between. You cannot adjust it to the point where it does not work. So regardless of where you have the dwell set, the gun will work just fine. Now you can make it possibly a little bit more efficient, or make it work a little bit better depending on where you have the dwell setting, but it will always work. So that's one thing that you don't have to worry about, is setting a dwell where the gun possibly goes out of its set parameters and then just stops functioning. So I like that. The less problems people can create on their own, the more the gun will work for them. All right, so I guess we should probably just put it back together. I think I've covered everything on there. Once it's broken down, it doesn't really look like that much stuff going on. There's a lot of other things we could take apart on here, but we don't really need to. You can see inside there. There we go. So let's go ahead and start assembling. Probably should have looked at that before I took it apart, huh? That one's gonna have to wait till later. It's getting late. I can feel it already. Brain stopped working. Alright. Missing anything else over here? Yeah. That's there. See how easy that goes back together right there? One thing I will tell you guys is be careful of this wire right here. This is the solenoid wire running along the side. You gotta make sure that this doesn't get outside here and then you pinch it. I mean, and that is something that goes with any gun, really. Make sure that your wiring is in the right spot so you don't crush it when you go to put it back together. Whoop. Like that. Let's get our eye pipe back in there. Like that. There are still little tabs on the ends right here. You want to make sure that they slide properly up into their little grooves that are in here. If you don't get it all the way up in there, it's going to not let that sit as far up as it should, and it might make it a little more difficult to tighten down. Yeah, there we go. Let's put our grips back on. Remember our screws. One, two. Clap down on the bottom first. So make sure that part gets stuck in there and is situated all nicely in there. You hear that snap, you know that it's gone back together properly. We can tighten these down. Make sure that this screw lines up properly inside here. All right, just take another quick look at this one. Probably would have been smart to look and see how that goes together. Let's say it's going to go this way. So I'm going to go with this. Like this. Make sure our first spring goes down in there. This is going to go like that. That's going to go through there. And hopefully, if we've done this right, yeah, there we go, popped right out. Ta-da! Just taking a minute to look at it, you can see how it goes together. So, not complicated. That's the first time I've actually taken the back end of that bolt apart and just being able to look at it and kind of figure it out and throw it right back in there. Again, simple design. So, I think they made the right strides and they made the right choices for reinventing the NT. I liked the gun, but I knew it had problems, and I could see that the issues were there. And this solves those issues on a great shooting gun. I think it's wonderful. So I would definitely recommend you guys to go check it out. Feel one, pick one up, shoot one. They shoot great. The new DSRs from Dye. Check the website for colors that are available. Order yours now through ansgear.com.